Okay, go ahead and tell us what you remember about the day the tornado hit, April the 10th, 2009.
So here's my perspective. I remember being in the closet. It was very loud. I sort of remember like everything was shaking, like vibrating.
All right, Colin, tell us what you remember about that day.
I was taking a nap and I was asleep, and then Mom gets up and drags me out of bed. She says, "Colin, get up! Colin, get up!" And then she goes and throws me in a closet. So then I don't remember, but then Mom's in the closet, and then I just was like, "Mom, what's going on?" And I was like, "Mom, what's going on?" And she was like, "Oh, it's a tornado." And I'm like, "What's a tornado?" And then all of a sudden, I hear glass shattering and just super loud noises for about 10 or 15 seconds. And then Mom was like, "Okay, it's over," I think. And then we opened the door. I just remember this guy had a pink blanket on that my grandma had sewed.
I still use it.
And so he wrapped it around himself, and then there was glass everywhere. And he just got up and started walking away. He just walked over to a door, and then he came back. And then I heard a voice say, "Is anyone in here?" And then Mom just yelled, "Yes, me and my two boys are in here." And then it turned out it was Mr. Ted. And then I don't really remember much after that, but that we were in Mom put us in our car seats in a car, and we were there for what felt like hours.
After I got the kids in the car and I felt like help was on the way, I decided to go and look for our animals. I could see that our steer was like wandering the neighborhood. He was alive and I saw him, but I didn't see any of the goats. And they were in a pasture that was completely wooded, and I could see that the woods, I mean, it just took a direct hit. They were completely destroyed. So I went down there to, I don't know, see if they were alive. So I'm almost down to the woods, and a guy comes like walking out of the woods or something, and he says, "Hey, I saw some goats back there." And I asked him, I said, "Do I want to go in there? You know, like, are they bloody? Is it goat parts or is it goats?" And he was like, "No, they seem okay." So he walked off. I think he was the same guy that tried to come through the front window, but that's okay. So I just started calling the goats, and I could see it, and then their little heads started popping up out of the debris, and it was so cute, and it made me feel so good that they hadn't been killed, and we didn't lose one. We didn't lose one goat. Where they were was so heavily wooded. I mean, the trees were just so close together that when the tornado came and twisted them and knocked them down, they all fell on top of each other and twisted up together. So none of them really like hit the ground. It wasn't like one tree just fell and hit the ground. They all just kind of messed and fell over, twisted up and fell over. So the goats were able to just get low and stay under the trees that were falling and everything. So they all made it, and so that was good. And it was, like Conrad said, it ended up in the long run being a blessing to our family. Our house got some probably needed repairs. We got obviously a new roof, all new windows, all new flooring in our home.
Gutters, siding.
Yeah, I mean, all new exterior and interior floors. They repainted everything. I mean, I wouldn't say they didn't gut the house, but it needed a lot of work, and it took them a really long time. And we did live in an apartment, like you said, but I actually liked it. I liked having a really small space. It's very easy to clean, so I didn't mind it. So it's really a good thing that Conrad and we had a canine at the time named Cash. It's a kind of a good thing that they weren't here, because they wouldn't have fit in the closet that me and the boys were in. In fact, now I'm not even sure that me and the boys could fit in that closet, but so it was kind of good that they were not here at the time. So Cash's house got blown away, so that's another reason it was good that he wasn't here. So
Had to get that replaced as well.
It's now the chicken coop.
Yes.
So, how do you approach storms now? Have you changed at all?
We had some bad weather the other night, and I couldn't get out of bed to even pay attention.
Do I react differently to storms now?
Colin and Candy freak out and lose it psychologically. I just go to bed. I'm ready to go.
Yes. Yeah, when they're calling for bad storms, I'm paying attention to the weather very closely. So, it's one of those moments in your life that you won't ever forget, and it's like a moment in time when you know, okay, that happened before the tornado and that happened after the tornado. Everything that I remember, every memory that I have is divided at that point where I know that it happened before that or after that, because it was such a big change and such a big event that it's just a really big divide. So we're very thankful that we were spared that day, and yeah, we're just thankful, aren't we?
This is what I saw on most days when I showed up at the house. For weeks, I would show up and there would be volunteers, people, some we knew, most we didn't, all over our property just helping us pick up the pieces. It was humbling to say the least. So thank you to all of our friends and our family that drove from as far away as Washington State and South Carolina. Thank you to the Red Cross and to the Laverne's Box 100 who fed us and our volunteers on so many days. While living in the apartment, I made this little sign, and I know it's not fancy, but I still tear up thinking about just how thankful I was. I was thankful for the help. I'm thankful that I got to see the goodness in humanity, and I was especially grateful that God chose to spare my little family.